Ang aga-aga mag-aalas 7 na, dapat nag-aalmusal kayo, hindi kayo umiinom.
Buti nga kayo, sir, eh. Iba, chivas legal nga ini.
Good morning, everyone. The MMDA are just briefing for today's operation, and you might notice something new. There is some army joining the operation today, so let's go. And here we are, first road. You can see a car parked over there. There's a sign up there that says no parking both sides. Car over there, and then also a couple here and one more here. Not only is this partially obstructing the road and the sidewalk, but it's also quite close to a corner and a pedestrian crossing. So if there's a driver inside, they'll just ask to see the license, then issue the ticket and let you move on. If there's no driver, there's a possibility that it could get towed away. Over here you can also see this one's parked next to a sign that says no parking both sides. One of the drivers has come out now, and just in time because the tow trucks are literally rolling in now. So far nobody's come out for this one though. You can see there is a sign up there, no parking both sides. So most likely this one will be towed away unless the driver manages to come out very, very soon. Over here you can see they're already connected the tow gear to this one, and they're also connecting to the blue one behind, and further on they're connecting to this white one. I believe most of these vehicles are probably people who are visiting people in these condos. And near the end of the road they're just picking up this one on the corner, and up goes the white one also. It looks like the driver of the black car has come out, but it's too late. It's already connected to the tow truck and lifted. And there is a sign literally right there that says no parking both sides. Over here they replaced the white bar with the straight bar, so I guess that means they're going to tow it with all the wheels on the ground. Right now they're looking at this jeepney here. He's of course saying, well, I'm quite far from the road.
Okay. 24 meters, sir.
Ano? Ilan?
24 meters, sir.
24 meters, ang laki nun. Manong sa'yo ba to?
Hindi, sir.
Okay,
Pero...
sige, tumabi muna tayo. Papakuha ko yan.
Huwag naman. Muna tayo, tayo.
Tay,
Nawak na, oh.
tay, sa inyo ba yan? Sa inyo po ba to?
Rekerin niyo ba?
Oo,
Lagi na.
papatanggal ko po yan.
Isa na po. Si Laila Libunaw.
Sino po yun?
Tatanggal.
Sir, lasing ba kayo? Okay, nakinom ka. Pwede ho ba kung hindi ikaw may-ari na to, tumabilang po muna tayo para hindi tayo nakakaharap sa gagawin namin?
Rekerin, sir. Nasa Goodnight.
Sa inyo po ba to, sir?
Pamangkin ko, sir.
Okay. Sige, sabihin nyo sa pamangkin nyo, bawal sa mag-park dito, kukunin po
Next
namin.
time, sir, bigyan niyo ako ng pagkakataon.
Sir, di naman po kayo,
Paliliwanag ko.
hindi
Pero
naman po
huwag
kayo
naman
may-ari.
ngayon. Maraming reker na.
O sige po, tabi muna po tayo para hindi po tayo nakaharang, ha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Salamat.
Next time, one time in request or marami naman, sir. Di ba may offense, second time offense,
Oo.
second time, third
Ewan ko
offense.
po, sir. Lisensyado po ba kayo?
Hindi naman.
Oh, tama po. Hindi nyo po alam.
Ako, pangkaraniwang tao lang.
Ako rin, oh.
Gusto ko lang mapaliwanagan ba? Porque ba, tabi na nga eh. One offense, mag-request kayo. One offense, 5.
Tay,
Second offense,
tay.
third offense.
Tay, hindi
Huwag
ko po
naman,
alam yung batas na sinusunod nyo.
Alam ko yung batas ng Duterte.
Ano ho?
Tanda ko na.
Okay. sige po.
Nasa utak ko na yun, sir.
Tumabi lang po muna tayo para hindi po...
Pero wag naman, nasa tabi na po.
Sir, hindi po tabi yan.
Ang gagawin nyo, re-require nyo.
Opo.
Wala akong masasabi, pero yun ba ang batas?
Batas po yun.
Batas ba? O baka batas? Butas.
Over here they're looking at this vehicle parked on the sidewalk. After a minor debate, he's handed over the license and they'll just issue a ticket for it.
Ang aga-aga mag-aalas 7 na, dapat nag-aalmusal kayo, hindi kayo umiinom.
Buti nga kayo, sir. Eh. Iba, chivas legal nga ini.
Sandali, pwede ba?
Pwede ba yun, sir? Sana sama nyo kami dun, ha?
Anyway, you can see that jeepney is now being towed away. The thing is, if you're holding a bottle of Red Horse at 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning, you've probably got some big problems. So, you know, you have to feel sorry for these guys, really. The owner of the Jeep has arrived and he's asking why it was towed. They're explaining why, and if he has a complaint, he can go through the traffic adjudication board. I assume the reason why it's towed is because this is sidewalk and it was partially obstructed. Yes, it might be a super wide sidewalk, but that doesn't mean that you can park there. Sidewalk's a sidewalk. Actually, this is probably how most of the sidewalks were before. But then, you know, as the city grew and grew, the sidewalks got smaller and smaller, and businesses and homes also sort of encroached onto the sidewalk. So, you know, nowadays, like, they're barely even wide enough for 1 foot. But this is what they used to be like, I guess. at least in some areas. And here comes the QCPD now to deal with the two men that have the red horse.
Basta mag-inom sa kalsada, bawal yun. Wala naman kaming bahay, sir. Hindi na kami nakatira.
Ay, hindi na natin problema. Ang bawal o, may bahay kayo, wala. Bawal o uminom sa kalsada. Hindi ako na pinakailan.
No request. Dapat pagka arrestment, may warrant of arrest ba ako para arrestin niyo ako?
Hindi nga kasi naka-previous na kayo.
Wala yan eh. Soft drinks lang yan eh.
I'm not sure who this is. I don't recognize the vehicle. What is that? Ah, it's a barangay patrol car. Barangay police. Okay. Never seen that design before. So the PNP have been talking to the barangay police. I'm not sure what their plan is for these two men. Apart from the drink that they had in their hands, they haven't really done anything wrong. Oh, now he's about to pee in public. Okay, looks like the barangay police will deal with this. I'd imagine they'll just take them in for a short while. Just down the road they picked up this one. There are signs all along here that say no parking both sides. And over here they're looking at impounding these bikes. If they move them in time, it's just a ticket. If they don't move them in time, they'll be impounded. At least one bike is being impounded, and another bike here that obviously isn't in running condition. I saw the enforcer trying to speak to this armored car. They want to issue a ticket for illegal parking. In fact, you see them here like every single time you come on this road. The driver's trying to reverse into this building here, but they want to issue the ticket first before they let him move on. The enforcer already has the license, so he's just writing out the ticket and then the man can move on his way. Over here they're dealing with this vehicle. You can see it's blocking the sidewalk and partially obstructing the road also. There's also all of these lights here on the sidewalk. I don't think they're meant to be here either. And this is a trip hazard with this wire, and they've already connected the tow bar to the car. Completely off topic, but I just saw this here. It's pretty cool. It's like a train coming out of the building on some tracks. It's really nice actually. It's quite fun. Over here they've stopped a motorcycle, 3 riders, no helmets, small boy on the front. Unfortunately the driver can't show a license either, so I think the bike's going to be impounded. You have excess passenger wearing slippers, which is dress code, no helmets, the young boy on the front. There's a list of violations. So yeah, they're just calling in a tow truck now to take this one away. And there goes the bike now with the tow crew. And this is the point in the day where the army joined today's operation. The MMDA will be going back with the Laguna Lake Development Authority to clear the remaining businesses and homes that were built near the river. So you might remember this place from my last video. This is the new bridge that they've constructed, or the widening of the bridge. Looks like the MMDA brought some heavy equipment with them today. That's good to see, because it just takes so many men to get the job done if you don't have the heavy equipment. And actually it looks pretty good since we were here last time. Most of it's gone, just the business ones over there that really needs removing now. These were where everyone were living, and some businesses, and those ones were just purely businesses. So you can see you have the MMDA guys that are continuing with the deconstruction. You have the army here just to provide any support that might be required. I don't see anyone from the Laguna Lake Development Authority. They are the ones that are kind of spearheading this project, and the ones that asked MMDA to remove all of these people. You can see these ones that were used for businesses are actually fairly well constructed. And you can see they had electric, it went up there and then over there and maybe to a meter. One thing I noticed further down the road is that people have gone up to the street lamps and then they've like made jumper connections. But that's further down the road. And you can see the SCOG team are now moving in to also speed up the deconstruction of these ones. Actually, it's been over a week I think since they were here last time, so everyone's had enough opportunity to do their own self-demolition. For the army this is probably pretty boring, but for the men that have to operate here, they probably appreciate knowing that there's someone that has their back just in case there's any problems. I don't think there will be any problems, but make use of what you have, right? And you can see the Bosch Saber Saw's come out again. It's got the wood and metal blade on it, so it can cut through either. I don't know if this is like coconut lumber maybe. You might wonder, why is he moving it back and forward like that when the blade itself moves? Well, it makes sure that you use the whole length of the blade evenly for wear and tear. It might not be the fastest tool for this very specific case, but it can be used in so many different things. That's why it's useful. He's also cutting through this one, so they'll be able to push this down any moment now. And he'll also take down this cross beam over here. There you go. This is one of the wooden blades, so let's see if this does any better. Ah yeah, it's faster compared to the other one. what they're doing is cutting this one, cutting that one, and then they can push it down like earlier. One of the guys was complaining about them using the saber saw because they want to rescue the full length of the wood. The thing is, they gave them more than enough time to deconstruct all of this. So if you leave it for the MMDA to come in, they're not going to think about, oh, what's the best way to save wood. They're going to think about what's the quickest way to take this down. Pretty heavy wood. I don't know if you were able to hear that on the camera, but there goes one battery. Actually, it's never been charged since they started using this tool, but thankfully Bosch gave extra batteries, so swapped over to another one, and I have to say that's going a lot faster, so I guess the battery really needed to be changed. It looks like the guys from the Laguna Lake Development Authority have just arrived also. Should all come down now. With the weight of that, you should easily rip it out of the side. So I've now changed venues. I'm at the Senate building, and this is a DOTR event in cooperation with the Senate, of course. These are modernized PUVs, public utility vehicles, and all of these are actually Euro 4 engines. So that means better fuel efficiency and better emissions, so healthier for everybody basically. And they're going to be launching this today for the Senate Loop. You can see over here the vehicles are being blessed. If you're outside of the Philippines, you might not have ever seen this before. But in the Philippines, this is quite common for new vehicles, especially if they're being used for the government or it's a government-led project. In fact, just over there you can see the entrance, Senate of the Philippines. From what the guard told me, the event will be on the second floor. I just saw Attorney Lazada. It's been a while. I guess she also came to check these out. I heard some senators will also be here, like VIPs, to attend the event. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. I just heard about this earlier and I thought, okay, well, PUV modernization, that's really good for the Philippines, so I want to attend the event and see what it's all about. So Attorney Lazada was just explaining to me that they literally just signed the board resolution now. It's going to be 10 pesos for the first 4 kilometers, and it is open for everyone. Although these vehicles are owned by the Senate Cooperative, the Senate Employees Transport Service Cooperative, they're actually public utility vehicles in this area. So 10 pesos for the first 4 kilometers. Interesting, very interesting. Let's take a look inside. So the first thing I noticed is it has the beep card, so you can tap to pay. Cash also, or only beep?
They will accept cash as well.
Also cash, okay, thanks. So what can we see different about this public utility vehicle? Well, first of all, there's CCTV inside for the protection of the riders. There's aircon, and if you look, I'm standing up and I'm quite tall and I don't hit the roof. There's also handrails. There's chairs. I think under the PUV modernization, they're meant to hold a minimum of 22 passengers. I have to verify that. So the idea is to carry more people per vehicle. What else is new? Of course, you have glass here because it's aircon. There is a little window here that you can open up if, I don't know, maybe something goes wrong with the aircon. But this is good for safety because sometimes snatchers will stick their arm through an open window of a regular jeepney. So, solid glass. I'm trying to see what else is new. It's pretty bare inside, but it's got what you need, and that's the main thing. And I just saw over here they've got some flowers and ribbons, so I guess I'll do a ribbon cutting. Actually, what I'm more interested to see is like one of these fully loaded. I want to see how smooth it is, how does it look going around corners, how does the aircon handle it, can it handle like 16 or 20 people in there? That's what I really want to see. I want to see it on the road. So there's a big crowd of people over there, big crowd of people over there. But while they're doing the ribbon thing, let's talk more about the PUV modernization program. It's not just about modernizing the vehicles. There's other aspects of it. For instance, they want people to work as cooperatives, and that has a lot of benefits because, for instance, they can share their maintenance fees. You just hire a couple of mechanics, they can handle your whole fleet. When it comes to admin, your admin people handle a whole fleet. It's much more efficient when you're handling a fleet of vehicles. Even if all your drivers are independent, they can all come together as a cooperative and then share their resources. Another thing they can do is they can pay their drivers a wage. For instance, if you look at the beep jeepneys in Marikina, they pay their drivers a set wage. It's not based on the number of people that they pick up. So if one driver has a bad day because the weather's bad or whatever, he's not going to lose out. He's still going to earn the same. As long as all the drivers keep pulling their weight, everybody benefits. Then you've got the loading, unloading. Right now the jeepneys load and unload wherever they want. That's of course a problem. That's going to be a lot stricter under the PUV modernization. They're going to have proper stops, and it's going to be based on research. Where do people pull up? Is it outside call centers and stuff like this? Of course, you've got the side loading, so that's a lot safer, but that's really more to the vehicles. Then you've got the dispatching. So right now, at sometimes in the day, you can see so many Jeeps going around, but they're all empty and they're all fighting each other for trips. It just doesn't make sense. By limiting how many cooperatives serve a specific route, you can control that because they're not going to compete with themselves. Right now, there's so much competition between individuals that it's just hurting everybody. So by having cooperatives, they can control that. When there's a high demand, they can dispatch a lot of vehicles. When there's a low demand, they don't dispatch it. And because they're cooperative, they can still share the earnings and make sure that everyone gets properly paid. So yeah, it's not just about the vehicles, there's a lot more to it.